Why it's so important for us to heal. Why it's so important for us to heal. If you haven't done so already, please click and subscribe on my YouTube channel for more real talk videos. And I'm just gonna go right into it because I don't have a lot of time. I'm on my way, going to somewhere important, so I wanted to get this video out. But it's so important for us to heal as a culture, because there's going to be some times that come upon us that's going to be tragedies. There's going to be some tragedies, there's going to be some losses, and we need to be able to come together for a common goal to make something important happen. And the moment we cannot do that, we're letting our ancestors down, we're letting our children down, we're letting our communities down, because we're not healthy and whole enough to carry out something all the way to the end of it, because we're holding on to this unforgiveness, or we're holding on because of our ego, or because we can't get our way, or because it was something that we wanted that we didn't get. Therefore, we're just too toxic to carry out something that was important for us to do for someone that we loved. And so I'm saying all that because that's the whole premise of my channel. I don't do this to get notoriety. I don't do this for wealth or none of that. I do this because it's a part of my purpose. God gave me a purpose, and that is to empower and encourage our people. That's my purpose. My purpose is really to work with our youth. That's what I live for. If I didn't have to do anything else, that's all I would do. So it's a part of my purpose is to get on here and to share with other people how God transformed and redirected my life and saved me and my life. And that's why I get on here, to empower and encourage other people. That's it. That's the only reason. I'm saying all this because I realized until I changed my mind, I could not change my life. I had to do my work, and it was not easy. It's very hard and it's very tough. And even though I've done the bulk of my work, I am still a work in progress. I still have to work on myself. Spiritually, physically, mentally, in every capacity. I cannot just work on myself physically if my mind ain't right. I can't just work on my finances if my heart ain't right. It's a total thing that we have to do. And so I'm saying this because we're falling short in our communities, all because we refuse to do our work. We don't understand there's some toxic traits that's within us that's keeping us down to this level. We cannot rise above if we got traits that we're holding on to, whether it's unforgiveness, whether it's for being ego driven, whether it's a selfish tendency, whether it's something that somebody hurt us and we just refuse to let go of. It's going to affect your total person. There's no way around it. And that's why we can't advance as much as we would like to, is because we have to let go of unforgiveness, and we have to do our work to get rid of the toxic traits and the toxic energies that we carry. That's what this message is about. And I think many of you know, you followed my ex-spouse, Rick Wallace, Roderick Wallace, and he just passed away. This video is in memory of him. I want to celebrate the life of the wonderful man that he was. He was very loving. He was very caring. He was brilliant. That's one of the things that attracted me to him, was that he was so smart. He's actually the smartest person that I've ever known. He could retain so much information. He loved reading. He loved books. And not only that, he loved children. And he always poured into children. It didn't matter. I think that if he could have adopted 1,000 children, he probably would have, because he always wanted to provide safety and security for children in any capacity. And that's exactly what he did. So he came into my life. He loved my children as his own, and I loved his children as my own. We came together and we co-parented together, and we really had a great synergy about ourselves, because we had so much love and admiration for one another. So I want to make this video in remembrance of him, because he was such a wonderful man. We had our differences, but one thing we did not do, we did not dishonor each other, and we always respected each other. And so that's something I can live with, the love and the admiration he had for me, and then I had the same. We were definitely equal on how well we loved each other, respected each other, and honored each other. Irregardless of why our marriage fell apart, those were not the issues. So for everybody that is grieving along with me and along with his family, I want you guys to know that if there's anything you want to do to honor this man's life, I would say go make right with somebody that you have a grievance with. Go make right with one of your children that you're not speaking to. Go make right with your mother. Go make right with your father. Go make right with somebody that has been an important person in your life that now you're no longer talking to. We never know when it's going to be our time, and we don't need to have so many unresolved issues that we cannot grieve properly. So if you want to do something for him or in remembrance of him, go make right with somebody that you love, because life is too precious and too short. Okay, I'm done with that, but I just wanted to say that outwardly to let you guys know that yes, we lost him. And it was a great loss. It was a great loss in our family system and our family structure, and it was a great loss in our community, because this man really wanted to empower our people to a higher state of being. And that's why I loved him so much, because he not only cared about his own family, but he cared about families all over. And I don't know if many of you knew, Rick actually counseled people from all over the world, not just here in Houston, Texas. He helped a lot of families, and he's going to be greatly missed. So I'm going to go on about why it's so important for us to heal, because there may be something that God wants you to do for him, and we cannot do that unless we're totally healed. Because there may be a time to where God actually wants you to go help your enemy. If you can't forgive that person, if you cannot get through what happened maybe 10, 15 years ago, how are you going to do God's will if you have unforgiveness in your heart? That may be your purpose for the time being. He wants you to go and help that person that you absolutely hate, that you can't stand. And you can't do it because you haven't done your work. You haven't forgiven. You haven't purged. You haven't given over whatever hurt and pain over to God, so that you can free your heart and actually be of use while you're here on earth, on planet earth. So that's why it's important for us to heal and do our work. And what I mean by that is, not everybody has experienced trauma, I understand. And this video is not going to be long because the sun is on my phone and it may cut off soon. But not everybody's going to have trauma, but sometimes we get hurt in our adult life, and we hold on to that hurt and that pain, and it smothers out any love, any good feeling that we could possibly ever experience, because we won't let go of something that happened years ago. I guarantee you the person that hurt you, or the people that hurt you, are still living, they're still breathing, and they're still doing what they need to do. Why should you stop your life because of unforgiveness in your heart? So it's best for us to let those things go. Let God deal with the people that hurt you. That's how you do it. And you forgive them, and you start working on you, and you ask God to heal your brokenness. Because sometimes, many times than not, if we allow somebody to come into our lives and hurt us, it's because there's an unhealed portion in us that's allowing it to continue to happen. Because once we learn a lesson, we should be able to see things more clearly, so that we can stop re-injuring ourselves by allowing the wrong people into our lives. And that's why I'm always saying it's always important for us to do our work and heal, so that we can see stuff from a mile away. And I'll give you an example. Just recently, I met this really, and this is no disrespect to my ex-spouse that I just paid, respect and remembrance to. But I met this really nice, handsome guy. I mean, he was tall, dark, and handsome. He was successful, everything that a woman could ever want. But because in my past, I had dealt with someone similar, and it doesn't matter how good the package looks, it's what's inside that matters. But because I had already been through a bout of this type of situation, when I recently met someone like that, I was able to take a stance back and take my time to get to know the inner person, not just the package. Because a lot of us, that's where we fall short. We're worrying so much about the outside versus the inside. So I was able to say, okay, I'm going to take my time. Even though everything looks good, everything looks, like they say, the message, everything glitter isn't gold. So I'm gonna take my time and get to know this individual. And so I'm taking my time. He's asking me questions, I'm asking him questions, but every time we had a conversation, it was always him being critical. It was always something I wasn't doing. And I'm saying to myself, you really don't know me well enough to know what I'm doing and what I'm not doing. But if that's the case, that means you have a critical, judgmental spirit. We would never work, because anybody knows me, they know that I am not a perfectionist, but I'm hard enough on myself. I'm not going to need my mate to be hard on me as well, especially if you knew all the things I have on my plate. I don't need to add more. I need for you to come in and say, let me take some of that off of you. But if you're coming into my life and you're adding more to it, it makes me say, okay, I've seen this before. This person is a taker. This person will not come into my life to ease it or give, or add to it. They just want to see if I can do more, perhaps so that I can do more for them or something like that. I don't know. But at any rate, I'm saying all this to say, because I had went through a similar situation where God had to let me go through certain things so that I can learn my lesson about just looking at the outer person. I had already been through that part. So I had already healed enough to know, no, you're not going to do this over here, because this person is lacking something, and it's something that's intrinsic. It's something inside that they may perhaps never be able to give me. And so that wouldn't work for me, irregardless of how everybody's talking about all of these check marks that the person is checking out superficially. But what do they have on the inside that's going to add to my life versus take away? So that's why I'm saying it's very important for us to heal in certain areas of our lives. So when we're presented with another situation like that, we'll know how to back up, take our time, and actually take inventory of the person's real qualities, the stuff that's gonna make us last. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're going into something and you're just looking at the physical, you're going to fail. But if you're going into something and you're looking at the spiritual, like the inner man more, then you can have a better judgment of that person versus just being, you're so googly-eyed and you're so attracted to that individual that you're missing the fact that they may be narcissistic, they may be abusers, they may be users, they may be all these things that if you've already been through some qualities of people like that, you've already endured it, then you want to stop doing that to yourself. You want to take your time out and say, what do they really bring intrinsically to the table? I did a reel the other day on my Facebook page about bringing your baskets full. We need those basket full. We need to bring our basket full, which means, that's why I'm always talking about healing. Ladies, we need to know how to talk to our men. We need to be understanding. We need to be loving, caring, thoughtful, respectful. We need to make sure we're adding and contributing to our men. We're bringing these baskets full of gifts because we know how to serve. But then in return, our men need to come around and they need to bring their baskets full. They need to bring empathy, understanding. They need to bring a safe, secure environment. They need to be our protectors. They need to be our priest, our friends, our confidant. They need to be loyal, just like we need to have loyalty as well. Those are the intrinsic values that I mean. And all of that's great, what I just mentioned, but guess what, you guys? That's not happening. We're not bringing full baskets. Well, yeah, we are bringing full baskets, but they're not healed, healthy items, intrinsic values that's going to carry on a long, healthy term, whole relationship. Guess what we're bringing instead? We're bringing selfishness. We're bringing unhealed trauma. We're bringing abandonment issues. We're bringing narcissistic traits. And it's all about me, 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 me. That's the basket you're going to put in front of your mate. It's basically empty. Or you're going to try to put all of those bad things on your partner. And if they're bringing you a full basket of healthy intrinsic values, before you know it, they're going to be emptying all their good out into your basket that's just eating all the good up. And I hope this makes sense. It doesn't matter how good we look, you guys. If our inner man is destroyed and defeated, we have to heal that inner man. We have to heal that person. And how do we do that? We do that by seeking the face of God, by telling our truths. Anything covered cannot heal. A lot of people are walking around here glamorous, beautiful, handsome, but we're so dark on the inside because we're holding on to unforgiveness and traumas and abandonment issues that we can't love another human being. So then when we look at people and they appear to be whole, you can't stand how they look. You can't stand them. And that's where a lot of times, when you know how you meet people and you say, this person really doesn't know me, but she's always mean to me, or he's always mean to you. You want to know why? Because they can see your spirit and it's in contradiction to theirs. And they can't stand you because they're wondering, how did you get your spirit so light and free? It's because you learned how to forgive. And God is forgiving you. You got to forgive others. And you can let all of that junk go and be the person and the people that God designed us to be. That's the only way we're going to do it. That's the only way. And so I said that to say, a lot of us think all we have to do is look good on the outside so that we can attract someone else that looks good on the outside. But if that inner person is dirty, hurt, broken, angry, full of malice, strife, narcissism, all of this, you're never going to be in a long-term healthy relationship. And if you be in a long-term relationship, that person is going to be just as toxic as you are, even if they brought baskets of good gifts. So that's why I say it's best for us to heal so that we can determine who is worthy of staying a part of our core structure, who is, it should be around us, because we have to protect. One thing about when you do the bulk of your work, when you do your work, that stuff was not easy. There's some purging, there's some tears cried, there's some isolation, there's some lonely days. There's some stuff you got to sacrifice and give up so that you can be healthy and whole. When you do your work, you don't need to have nobody re-injure you and push you backwards. You're always needing someone that's going to catapult you forward, that's going to add to your life. And then you in return, you're going to do the same thing. And that's what I mean about having synergy. And that's how couples have long-lasting, long-term relationships. And I'm just saying that because we have to stop re-injuring each other. Nobody has a right to walk in my life and see that I've done the bulk of my work and I'm loving and I'm caring and I'm adding all these good things to them, and all they can do is come into my life and criticize me and tell me I ain't doing enough. No, it's something within you. You're projecting on me the things that to keep me, because you want to push me down because you know I'm way up here. And when I say I'm way up here, it has nothing to do with monetary gain or value or anything like that. It has everything to do with my spiritual well-being and my inner man, that God is healing me every single day that I'm on this planet Earth. And I'm always trying to make myself a better person. And so I've done a lot of my work, and I'm not letting nobody take my progress. Never let nobody take your progress. You know from whence you came. You know where you've come from. So if you know you've done a lot of work, and even if you've been hurt, you forgiven the people that's hurt you, your heart is free and it's pure and it's open. And so God is able to pour in all his abundance and his blessings, spiritual blessings, healing your abandonment issues, healing your traumas, healing your fears and all of your doubts and your insecurities. That comes from God. It doesn't come from man. So that's something we have to get personally with our Creator. We have to know God for ourselves. And I'm not just talking about reading scripture. We have to commune with God, our Maker, and we have to spend some alone time with him so that he can purge us of our own toxic traits and our own negative energies and make us clean and whole. So that's what I mean about doing our work, you guys. In order for us to have a healthy, strong culture so that we can raise healthy, strong children, and they can then in return raise healthy, strong children, we're not doing anything. I'm just starting to read the Old Testament again, and I read all of Romans, and now I'm in 1 Corinthians, and it's really a beautiful, some of it is really beautiful, but it teaches us how to love each other. And I just love it, and I'm just encouraged the more I read it, and I'm continuing my reading. And I just want to wish everybody that's took the time to click on my channel and look at this reel, to encourage y'all in remembrance of my ex-husband, which I still deeply loved. In remembrance of him, I want to say, if there's anything in your heart that you're holding on to that's hurting you, let it go now. Let it go. Give it to God. Leave it at the altar and be set free. And that's what I want to remember him by, saying that to the people, that that love can cover a multitude of sins. But one thing love is never unsure. And I'm saying this to women and men. If there's somebody entering into your life, trying to enter into your life, that is unsure, they bring the spirit of chaos and confusion, that's not your person. You don't have to continue a month of courtship, or 2 months, or even 6 months. If they're starting off like that, that's who they are. You need to say, you know, it's not a fit. I wish you well. You're a beautiful human being. But I believe maybe perhaps there's something you still need to work on. And so I'm going to bid goodbye, with blessings, of course. But I'm gonna say goodbye, because we cannot afford to keep rebuilding ourselves after we've been hurt. So I wish nothing but blessings of abundance to everybody that clicked on this video. Even if you're the person I'm talking to, if you have unforgiveness in your heart, if your basket is empty, you don't have a right to want to be in a relationship or a courtship with another individual. It's time for us to heal. Put that basket away until you work on yourself. And every time you accomplish a goal, like forgiveness, you put that in your basket. You're learning more compassion towards other people, you put that in your basket. You're learning more empathy for others, you put that in your basket. Loyalty, I don't care if you've never been loyal a day in your life. If you're learning how to be loyal and you've reached that goal, God is letting you know that now you know how to be a loyal person, then you put that in your basket. And you keep building this healthy, intrinsic basket that you can give to the partner of your dreams. Because, the worst thing in the world, and I'm going to let you guys go, the worst thing in the world is for God to have your mate come to you and you're not ready. Ain't that bad? I think that's bad. I think that's bad, because you know what? Sometimes those people are once in a lifetime people, and you weren't ready for them, and so you lost them. Now they're going on and they're meeting someone that was ready, but actually that was supposed to be your person. Now that's a loss. I'm sorry. That's a loss. So let's not be losers, you guys. Let's be winners. Let's prepare our baskets of real, true, intrinsic gifts so that we can give to not only our partners, but to our children, to our friends and family members. We all deserve to be sharing healthy baskets of gifts so that we can have a more healthier, abundant life here on planet Earth. And that's all I want to say. Again, thank you guys for clicking on this channel. If you feel like it could help someone, hopefully I can't remember if I said when we begin to work on ourselves, it's really important for us to understand that doing our spiritual work, doing our physical work, but there's also mental work that we need to do. That's something that Rick helped a lot of people with, is our mental health. You may have to seek an outside person to work through the different layers of any traumas, any incest, any rape or molestation. Those things need to be worked out mentally. Sometimes we have to peel, because there's different layers of dysfunction and toxic traits that it creates when you've been affected in those ways. So you really need to work on those mentally with a professional. And I want to say that because a lot of times we think we don't, I don't need any mental health. I ain't crazy. It doesn't mean you're crazy. It means that you want to be healthy and whole to work through these issues. Sometimes things that happen to us was due to no fault of our own. So don't take it that way. Take it as, I want to get healthy and I want to be whole. So I'm going to do I'm going to deal with my mental health. That's extremely important. I don't know if I said that earlier, but I wanted to say it's okay for you to seek the face of God, to build your prayer life, to commune with God so that he can heal you in spiritual ways and you can be closer to God. But you also want to do your mental health, because until you change your mind, you can't change your life. I don't care how many times you read scripture, until you change your thought system and your structure, your subconscious mind, you will not change your life. So that's important. I want to add that component to it. Thank you guys for checking out my channel. I absolutely love and adore you. My prayers are with you all. Take care of yourself. Love God, love yourself, and love others. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.